Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Josie's Point of View, where we focus on human interest stories from the Carolinas and beyond. Today it's Saturday and it's January the 22nd, 2022. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to extend to you a warm welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you find the information here to be informative. And if you're a returning viewer, by all means, thank you so much for coming back. You know, I always say that the tide changes so frequently here on these YouTube streets, so you always have to acknowledge where your support comes from. And I want you to know, I sincerely thank you for your support. Feel free to like and to share this video, and don't forget to subscribe. And our story today comes from the Marine Corps base at Camp Lejeune here in North Carolina. Take a look at the headline. And it reads, 2 Marines killed in off-post accident, 1 Marine charged. I'll provide you with a summary here, and as always, I'll place links to a few of the full articles in the description box. We had sad news from our Camp Lejeune family as we learned that this past Wednesday of the unfortunate passing of 2 Marines in an off-duty accident that injured several other service members. You know, I don't always rush to talk about these stories because I like to wait until names are released, and that takes a few days. And many times I looked into the hometown news stories just to see what they're saying about the deceased service members. So in other words, rather than bringing you bits and pieces, I try to bring a more comprehensive story, and if I know a funeral plans, I'll share that as well. So that's why you don't always hear things from me as soon as it happens. And this is what has been reported about this accident. Approximately 1 p.m. last Wednesday, a tactical military vehicle identified as a 7-ton truck, it was filled with Marines, were traveling on Highway 210 and attempted to make a right turn onto Highway 17. It was reported the vehicle was traveling at a high speed and it experienced some difficulty with the turn, which resulted in the truck driving off the road into a ditch and on its side. As you can see in this picture right here, Marines were tossed onto the road from the back of the truck, and a trailing military vehicle couldn't stop in time and hit one of the ejected Marines. As a result of this accident, 2 Marines were pronounced dead at the scene and several others were injured. The last report I saw said that a total of 17 Marines were taken to nearby hospital, to New Hanover Regional Medical Center, as well as the Marine base on Camp Lejeune, but they were taken to a nearby hospital for treatment, and initially 2 of them were listed as being in critical condition, but they are now listed as being stable. However, the actual extent of their injuries were never disclosed. It was reported that the 19-year-old Marine driving that 7-ton truck was charged by civilian authorities, and that seems appropriate because this did not happen on Camp Lejeune. It happened off base in Jacksonville, North Carolina. So he was charged with exceeding the safe speed and 2 counts of vehicular manslaughter. I'm choosing not to release his name or show his picture. I can't influence what anyone else does, but I have chosen not to release his name or show his picture. And my rationale is simply, he was not out there committing a crime. It was an accident. It was a terrible accident. And unfortunately, several of his comrades were injured and 2 were killed. He did not leave Camp Lejeune that day intended to hurt or to kill his comrade. We can debate this issue all day long. It won't change how I feel. A 19-year-old young man in a 7-ton truck. We can probably look at a lot of contributing factors, experience, training, etc., but those will come out later. For now, I can only imagine what all of the families involved are going through at this moment. And for me, I'm electing to mention that the 19-year-old Marine driving the truck was charged, but I have decided not to show his picture or mention his name. The 2 deceased Marines were identified on Friday. They were 2 young men, aged 18 and 19, and I noticed this headline from the Stars and Stripes as well as a few other news sources that says Marine killed were teenagers, and that did not sit very well with me. So let me clarify a bit for everyone. They were more than teenagers. They were 2 young men who chose service to country rather than going to college or even finding a civilian job after high school. They had chosen to serve their country in the Marines. They were young men. The two were identified as Private First Class Zachary Rifle, age 18, of Kingswood, West Virginia. He's on my right. And Lance Corporal Jonathan Gierke, age 19, of Lawrenceville, Georgia. Both were landing support specialists as Camp Lejeune, assigned to the 2nd Marine Logistic Group. And both of these young men joined the Marines in March of 2021. So they had been Marines for less than a year, just about 10 months. And I always try to go back to the service member hometown whenever I can, just to get some background information as well as to see what's being reported back there. So I first checked in at Newburgh, West Virginia, which is the hometown of Private First Class Rifle. I found out he was a recent graduate of Preston High School, where he served as a member of the wrestling team, and it appears he had excelled in that field. I saw a few interviews with 2 or 3 people from his high school, and they had so many pleasant things to say. Of course, they were all in shock, but they had so many pleasant things to say about this young man. There was one common theme. They spoke about how proud they were of him, and especially of his decision to join the Marines and to serve his country. Another news source highlighted his military journey as well as his military accomplishment. And this is what I saw written in the newspaper. It said, Private First Class Rifle entered active duty service in March of 2021. His previous duty assignments include Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Parris Island, South Carolina, School of Infantry, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, and Marine Corps Combat Service Support School at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. His military awards include the National Defense and Global War on Terrorism Service Medal. And at the time of this video, funeral plans have not yet been finalized. I then went over to Lawrenceville, Georgia, the hometown of Lance Corporal Gierke, just to see what they were saying. I found out that Lance Corporal Jonathan Gierke was a 2020 graduate of Cullen High School in Lawrenceville, where he served in the ROTC program. They interviewed the ROTC coordinator, who stated that Jonathan was the leader who racked up hundreds of hours of community service and inspired everyone around him. They said he had a smile that lit up a room. Lance Corporal Gierke was the recipient of numerous awards. He was a 4-time National Award winner, Community Service National Award, American Legion National Award for Excellence, Tuskegee Airmen Award for National Recognition. So he wasn't a kid who was just going into the program and hanging out. That's according to the coordinator. He was extremely involved and had a smile that would lit up a room. It was stated that Jonathan Gierke was in the top 2 to 3% in terms of physical fitness, and as a part of the ROTC program, he was a member of the rifle team, and the ROTC members intend to pull the rifle you often use from their inventory to create a memorial for him. And funeral plans for Lance Corporal Gierke have not yet been finalized. There are some things in this life we may never understand. Nonetheless, it's a sad day, and we join the Camp Lejeune family in mourning the loss of 2 young service members. We send our prayers and messages of condolences to all those who have been affected by their passing, family members, friends, and of course the military community at Camp Lejeune and beyond. We are so very sorry for your loss. But through our grief, we pause to reflect on these 2 young men and their remarkable journey. And unless you have served, you may never appreciate, you may never fully understand how remarkable their journey has been. So to Lance Corporal Jonathan Gierke and Private First Class Zachary Rifle, your mission is now complete. So rest well, my friends, and thank you for your service. And that's all I have for you right now. Feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about this video. And by all means, feel free to like and to share it. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red subscribe button. It's at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And if you click on this notification bell right here, you'll be the first to know whenever a new video is uploaded. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.